Uncle Tim's. It's all good.
Well, here's my hydraulic cylinder for my crane, and just got it delivered by FedEx. You can see, if I can get this open here, got a little roughed up on the trip. All the paint's been rubbed off different places. So that's all that was protecting it, was that little thin bubble wrap, these little tiny bubbles, and it was kind of flopping around in that box and got roughed up. I mean, that's not going to hurt the performance of it, it's just kind of ugly. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, guess that's just a plastic plug. It's pretty beat up too. So, with the name Magister or Magister, that's where it came from. Ordered it directly from them. Need to do a little better job of packaging these things. A little bit more, maybe some paper or something, but yeah, it's kind of roughed up. Of course, obviously, it'll should still work just fine, but it's just not real pleasant to look at, and it's not great having it all bunged up like that. It could have damaged. Ooh, it is bent. Hopefully it didn't mess up the threads. I'll have to get that out of there and take a look at it. I don't want to have to try to ship this back. Anyhow, I'll give you an update on it once I get that popped out of there and take a look at it, make sure the threads are all still okay. So I was able to get that plastic plug out of there, and you can see that the threads were not damaged. Got a little bit banged up on the side there, but everything's good there, so we're all right. And the other end's the same. So this should still work. So I videoed this the other day, but had the camera flipped around in selfie mode, so all I ended up doing was videoing my door. But I unloaded this boom here. This is the boom for my crane. It's a 10-inch square tubing, 1/4 inch thick wall, and it's 14 feet long. So that brings it in at just over 500 pounds. I brought it home on a trailer and unloaded it here, and like I said, I videoed that, or I thought I was videoing it, but didn't get it on video. So I want to go ahead and just give you an update, show you. Got this here. This is what the boom is going to be for this crane, and it's going to be sitting on a platform that will be spanning those two cross members there on the trailer, and it'll be sitting up several inches above those cross members, and then there'll be the brackets where the hinges go will give it some additional height. So this will easily get up to a height of 14 feet, and I think it's around 50-degree angle. If it's at a 50-degree angle, it will be at 14 feet at the tip of the boom, which is the height that I wanted to get to be able to hoist up a beef cow. That's plenty of height for the size of cattle that I'll be processing. So, and then here's the plate that it's going to be sitting on. That's a 2 foot by 3 foot, 3/8 inch thick steel plate. You can see it's a big heavy duty, and that bugger is heavy. That's over 90, almost 100 pounds of steel right there. And then this piece here, it's cut at an angle. That's what's going to sit on top of the plate. It'll be welded to the top of that plate, and then that's where the boom's going to pivot. There'll be some brackets welded onto that, and brackets welded onto the tail end of the boom there, and that's where the pivot point will be. and then the hydraulic cylinder will attach right near the base of this on this plate steel, and then I'll have to do some figuring to see where it's going to land on the boom. But it's a 4-inch hydraulic cylinder, 2-inch shaft, and has an 18-inch extension. It extends 18 inches, so it will lift this plenty high enough, and it should be plenty strong enough to lift this in a cow. Although it actually should be able to lift up to 2,000 pounds from a horizontal position like this, but I don't intend on ever doing that. I just wanted to overbuild this to make sure there was plenty of safety factor for the use that I am gonna be putting it to. And then also my plan is to, once it is in the upright position where it goes, then I'm gonna have a loop welded on the back of it, and then have a safety rope that I can attach over here to this, just in case the hydraulics happen to give out or something, you know, a hydraulic line breaks. There will be a safety catch over here with a big heavy duty shock line that can handle that more than probably 10 times, at least 10 times the force that this will generate if it breaks loose. And I'll show you the end of this. This is a big old hunk of steel here, 1/4-inch thick wall, 10 by 10. And it should, according to calculations of a mechanical engineer, it should be more than enough. What the engineer calculations they gave me said that an 8-inch by 10-inch rectangular tube would work with a 1/4-inch thick wall, but I couldn't track down any 8-inch by 10-inch tubing, so instead of going down to 8 by 8, I thought about going down to an 8 by 8 by 3/8-inch thick wall, and that would have worked, but it was actually more expensive than this 10 by 10 by 1/4-inch. So I went ahead and went up a size, so it will be plenty strong enough to handle the loads that I'm going to be subjecting it to. And I got to get all this old hardware off these cross members, and I had some new pieces like this fabbed for me out of 1/4-inch thick steel instead of this. I think this is eighth inch, and it's all rusty anyhow. And then I ordered some new U-bolts because those are all rusted, and actually those over there are stripped out. I'm gonna have to cut those off, and that one there too, I'm gonna have to cut that one off. And the frame of this boat is 3-inch by 4-inch rectangular tubing, and then those cross members are 3-inch by 3-inch square tubing. So this trailer should be plenty heavy enough to handle the loads that I'm going to be putting on it. And then there'll be some outriggers that'll slide out the back end there to give it some additional stability when I go to lift. Originally I was kind of concerned about there's going to be almost 9 or 10, there's going to be about 10 feet of this boom hanging out beyond the axle here, and I was worried about that amount of weight hanging out the back, that it would cause this trailer to be really tail heavy. But I did some calculations, and with the 3 feet of boom, and then this big plate of steel, and that plate there, and then with the hydraulic cylinder, it's going to be mounted behind the axle. All of that weight plus the weight of this trailer will be more than enough to counteract the weight of that boom. So at least that's what my calculations tell me. I guess I'll find out if that's true or not. But if it is too tail heavy, I'll either have to add some more weight to the front of the trailer, or figure out a way maybe add another cross member up farther up front on the trailer here and move everything forward a little bit. But I'm hoping my calculations are correct and then that it will. There'll be plenty of weight behind the axle. Should all work, but I guess we'll find out when we actually get to it and get it put together. All right, stay tuned. Okay, so it's time to get this trailer prepped so that I can prime it and paint it. So I'm using a wire wheel on my 4-inch angle grinder. And then once I get it really I'm just knocking off some of the moss and stuff and the real rough paint chips. This isn't going to be a professional paint job by any means, but just trying to get it somewhat presentable and able to take some paint. And then I'll prime it and then paint it here in a bit. Okay, so I got my UPS package. Sorry for the interruption. Anyhow, so I got everything brushed down with that wire wheel, so now I'm going to go ahead and put on the primer. Alright, so I got quite a bit of the trailer primed yesterday and I let it dry, and now I'm going to go ahead and move this trailer over so that I can continue working on the big beam there, the big boom. And this trailer's kind of in the way, so I'm going to use my jack to lift it up and then scooch it over sideways and get it out of the way. And that's pretty much going to conclude this video. I'm going to there'll be lots more videos to go in this series, so make sure you keep checking and keep watching, and I'll get this moved over and then check back and watch the next video in the series as I continue the construction and get this thing built. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.